Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and he's all about options. That's what you're always saying. I got options. What are the options?
The options are to get the equity out of your house at the most cost-effective way that's going to save you the most amount of money, paying off credit cards, home improvement, whatever you want to do.
And that's one of the reasons you would use the Richard Toccato Companies instead of a bank, because they give you so many options. And it all starts with one free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719, or online at homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
They say there are only two things certain in life: sweet deals at Sweet Dreams and taxes.
And only one of those is certain this month.
Which one?
The sweet deals at Sweet Dreams.
What about the taxes?
No sales tax the entire month of April at Sweet Dreams.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And don't call me Shirley.
Love where you live, Lake Norman, and pay no sales tax during the month of April. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
If you woke up this morning and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not that important out here. No, we're going to change that mindset today, because today I'm going to tell you why you are important. Thanks to something that happened to me recently. You're not going to believe it. Let's start the meeting.
Whatever you're going through, you will get through it because you're here. And that means you are not alone. This is the Meaningful Meeting. Now your host, Ace Cannon.
A thank you to you and why you are important. All coming up on today's edition of the Meaningful Meeting. But first, we work with some great people. There's a great chance for you right now to save yourself a lot of money thanks to Richard Toccato and the Richard Toccato Companies. Home rates are falling, just dropped a little bit. If you want to buy, now's the time. If you want to refi, now's the time to save yourself a lot of money. We have a member of the radio family who refied, saved himself $2,000 a month when all was said and done. You can do that right now. One free 5-minute phone call gets it started to Richard Toccato and the Richard Toccato Companies. 704-800-4719, 800-4719, or homewithrichard.com. First, the Meaningful Meeting, we come here every week. If this is your first time here, we come here because this is where we just kind of share one with another what we're experiencing, what we're going through, because my thought process is whatever it is you're going through, loss, whether it's of a loved one, divorce, difficulties in life, there are some similarities. There's some shared experience that we all have. And sometimes I get to the point of doing this thing, I'm not doing anything good to help anybody. I don't know, because I've always said this is a very selfish podcast. From the standpoint of the thought that I'm doing something that might help you is what helps me. I mean, I'm just sharing my experiences, my thoughts, my ideas. I don't have any formal training. I'm just a guy living through a bunch of stuff. So the thought that something I've learned or that I've taken from my experience could offer you some assistance to make your day a little bit better, that's what helps me. So in essence, it is kind of a selfish podcast. But thank you. I just took a minute recently and went back through some of the messages that you sent, whether it's on YouTube or from the podcast or you DM'd me, which you can do all the time, at Ace at Large on all social media. David Ace Cannon on Facebook if you want me directly, or you can send it to the Ace and TJ Show. Ace Cannon Media, at Ace Cannon Media, anywhere, everywhere. I'd love to hear from you. Thoughts, ideas, what you want to talk about, but things like this. Ace, keep showing up. Thanks for continuing this. It's truly something simple but impactful. Thanks for all you do through the Meaningful Meeting. I mentioned a lot that I've got some struggles when it comes to my relationship with God lately, which is improving. Coming up again in a few minutes. But Ace, God works through you even when you struggle to believe it. I've always felt you had such strength and kindness. I got to sense and see that kindness and strength in motion as you spoke to those of us who were at the end of pedaling for Peyton. You truly do have a passion for helping others. Thank you. Thank you. This is, the thing that makes me feel like, okay, maybe this is worthwhile. Thanks for being here and sharing with us so much each week. And I'm always surprised at the people that find the Meaningful Meeting at a time when, they need something in their lives. Saying, this really hit home for me this week. And I hope what I'm about to tell you is going to hit home for someone. Because it's why you are important. There is a reason that you are important to someone. And let me give you an example. So I talk a lot about my childhood, and I talk a lot about this group of friends that I have. And I'm very blessed. I saw something the other day that says the average person has 5 close friends. I can count 15 people in my life that I consider to be close friends, family, people I can count on at a moment's notice. 15. That's a shockingly high number. I do not know what it is that I've done in my life, and I've said this many times. What have I done to deserve all of these people? Because they come into my life in different phases, but they're all still here for many, 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 many years. Whether it's the group of guys that I grew up with, whether it's, my brother, Bird, from college, whether it's TJ and his family, whether it's the guys in my band who have now been a part of my life for over 20 years, whether it's the members of the Ace and TJ show, all of these people somehow come together. And not 5, I counted yesterday, 15 people that I have that I consider to be close, a circle of people that I can count on at a moment's notice. I may speak to them all differently, different times, blah, 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 but I know chips are down. I got to call somebody. I can pick up the phone and call any one of those people, and they will drop what they are doing to help me, and I will do the same for them. It's quite a blessing. But every year, third weekend in July, I get together with my friends. You've heard me talk about it many, many times. It's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite weekend of the summer, because there's nothing required of me but to get on a plane with a small bag, swimsuit, a couple of T-shirts, and head to Houston. And there, I reunite every year with what everybody on the Ace and TJ show calls the Kings of the Village Green. I wrote a song about them one time. And they're the guys that I grew up with. Now, I am 56 years old. 2 of these people I have known since I was 5 years old. A third I've known since I was 8. The other 2 since I was 10. And one since one I knew my whole life, but really got to know around middle school, even though we knew each other throughout school from church and everything. I've known them longer than I've known my own sister. She's 5 years younger than me. 2 of these people I've known 51 years, which is hard to believe. And we get together third weekend in July at my friend Alan's house in Houston. And it is the most fun, relaxing catch up. Sit around in the pool. We talk about everything, from the sublime to the ridiculous to the important to our own lives, our kids, our families, our hopes, our dreams. Name the 3 greatest bands of the 80s. Name the 3 greatest bands of the 90s. How to make a better margarita. What is that bottle of wine that we're about to open? I mean, it's just ridiculous and so much fun. One minute there's just a completely, a complete walk down memory lane happening over here where somebody's telling a funny story about something that happened that we've probably heard 1,000 times. Next thing you know, we're talking about, I wonder whatever happened to this person that we knew. Then it's a conversation about somebody's job, their experiences, travel around the world, whatever they're doing, that kind of thing. And there's a political conversation that pops up. It's just so many different things because there's such a varied group of people. But the one bond we have is that we all grew up together. We all played sports together. We all essentially became men together. Elementary school, middle school, high school. We were all there, same neighborhood, experienced so many things together. It's such a special bond with a special group of people. And here's how special they are. So I can't get into the details because you know a lot about my personal life and things. And I've been going through some stuff for a while. And I didn't really want to get into it over the course of my weekend when I was in Houston a couple of weeks ago. Because I didn't want to be a downer. And I'll be quite honest with you. For years, 4 years, there was the success that I have enjoyed in my life. If I'm being honest, was a little bit of a point of pride for everyone, as theirs is for me. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. And so I've been going through some things for the past year and a half or so. And I really didn't want to get into all of the details about it. A lot of pressure. We had a great Friday. I drank too much, had some fun. Saturday, we're lounging around in the pool, having some drinks, kept it under control, had a great, phenomenal dinner Saturday night. And while we're all sitting around the dinner table, my friend Alan's formal dining table, just talking about stuff. And, and I think most people think if they were there, they would think it's just a big party. It's really not. It's fun. It's very festive. It can be a bit of a party at times. It also can be a lot of, like I said, a lot of different conversations. And if you've got a group of close, deep, personal friends, you know what I'm talking about. And we ended up having a conversation about religion. We kind of eased into it just in talking about different things. A lot of it came from talking about politics and our lives and our kids and our families and that kind of stuff and how it all kind of transformed. And I just mentioned, and honestly, probably because we'd had a fair amount of wine with these incredible steaks that we were enjoying, that I was really struggling with a few things. That I was really struggling with my faith, and that I was really struggling with having hope, and that I was really struggling with being a positive influence in the lives of those people around me. Just because I didn't feel like, and I haven't felt like for a long time, there was anything positive happening to me in a big way. Things that I needed to have happen. Very close on 3 separate occasions to things that would have changed my life. None of them panned out. None of them panned out. None of them panned out. And by close, I mean like that close. To things that would have eased the pressure in my life immeasurably. And perhaps, launched me into something that would have been very, very successful. And the struggle is real, so to speak. And I just kind of began to open up. And as I opened up, this emotion began to come out of me because I trust these people. I can trust them. We've had it happen with others as well. In past years, they've shared things that they weren't intending to share just because you get into this area where you're so safe, so comfortable with these people who you trust so deeply. And I just kind of began to open up and share what I was feeling and my frustration and my crisis of faith and my lack of belief in myself and all of these things that had brought this doubt into my life. None of which are good. All of which I recognize are hurting me. But I'm kind of was in this tailspin and I couldn't find a way out. For people, it was a little bit of emotional for me at times. And then my friend Scott, who was seated to my left, says to everybody, hey, first things first, we need to pray for David. And as a collective, sitting at this dinner table, just instinctively, everyone grabbed hands and they said a prayer for me. And I cannot tell you how much it meant to me. Because I've been struggling with this crisis of faith, as I call it. And I know it's not the way I'm supposed to think, but I've just really struggled. It's like I know I'm wrong. I feel that I'm wrong, but I can't seem to turn it around. I don't know how else to explain it. But in that moment, I felt hopeful. I felt cared for. I felt loved. Not that other people haven't done that for me. It was just, sometimes things come together in a moment that you didn't expect to be, nor did you want to be in the position that you're in. And there we were, sitting around the table, praying for me. That's who these people are at their core. And it's made a difference in my life. And it's funny. We keep in touch with each other. Sometimes a month or two may go by. You don't hear from everybody, whatever. Nobody worries about it. It's kind of a guy thing. I've heard from each of them since that weekend. Hey, just checking in on you, seeing how you're doing. And typically, I try to be that person checking in on them. For the past year and a half or so, they've been checking in on me more than I've been checking in on them. And I can't express to you how much that moment helped my perspective. I'm still struggling, but I feel like I'm gaining on it. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. So where do you come into play? Well, who they are for me, that's who you are for someone. And that's why you're important. And if you're not that person yet, that's who you can be for someone. And that's why you're important. And if you find yourself feeling the way that I've been feeling, you have someone out there who will listen to you and help you because they think you're important. Whenever it all begins to overwhelm you, there is someone who believes in you and who believes that you're important, and that's why they're there for you. I'm not anything special. I'm just a guy blessed enough to have some great friends, and I'm willing to bet you're a person blessed enough to have some great friends also. You may not have 15, you may have 5 or 3. All it takes is 1. And maybe you need to be that person for someone else. Boy, and that really makes you special, doesn't it? Maybe you're the person who could change someone's perspective. If you just think about it, capture the moment and put a little effort into it. And how special would that be for you to give that kind of a boost to a friend? That's pretty special. I don't know that I'll ever be able to do for any of them what they did for me in that moment the other night. They've all really pretty much got their lives together. They really do. They really do. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm very proud of them. And I'm very thankful for them. Because in that moment, they made me feel important. They picked me up. And if you need that in your life, and if you're willing to really take a hard look at things and open up and have to answer some tough questions, because they don't pull any punches. They ask some very tough questions. What are you doing about this? What are you doing about that? How are you going to handle this? How are you going to handle that? These types of things. Somebody will do that for you, or you can do that for someone. Could be a game changer. Either way, it becomes a part of your life experience. Something else you've gone through. Something else either you've overcome or you've helped someone overcome. And never forget, one day you will tell your story of how you've overcome what you're going through right now. And it will become part of someone else's survival guide. And that is truly, truly special. I would love to hear from you at Ace at Large, at Ace Cannon Media. DM me through the Ace and TJ show. Make a comment. Let me know those things that you're dealing with, what you're living with, what you want to talk about in future episodes of The Meaningful Meeting, because I think it's important that we keep showing up.
Now, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. You are a part of the Meaningful Meeting, presented by the Radio Network. Copyright ATJ Inc. 2022.
Our friend Richard Toccato of the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and you know you got a lot of pressure on you right now with the credit card debt. Let Richard help you. What are you going to do?
We're going to skip summer and make payments in the fall. How about that?
Nice.
And the best part about it is they're going to do that using the equity in your very own home. All you have to do is let Richard Toccato and the Richard Toccato Companies walk you through the process. It starts with one free 5-minute phone call. 704-800-4719. 704-800-4719 or online at homewithrichard.com.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.